Hello friends, and welcome back to the horror section. This is going to be a review for Inhumanity, and this is from Wild Eye Releasing, and I'd like to thank Wild Eye Releasing for letting me have this to review. And if you don't know that much about Wild Eye, they've been around since 2008, and their goal is to bring young and upcoming directors and filmmakers to a wider audience and get their movies put out there for more people to see, so that's kind of cool. And this movie was pretty interesting. It was, I don't know, it was kind of like a cop drama, kind of from like the 50s and 60s. It had a little bit of weirdness to it, but it was pretty good. It's like this girl narrowly gets away from the serial killer. I think his name was Six Pack Sam or something like that, because he would leave beer cans or something on the near his bodies or whatever, and she narrowly gets away from him. Well, they put her in the hospital, and when she wakes up, you know, she's told that her dad has committed suicide. So she tries to investigate. Well, of course, they get the serial killer and they lock him up, and they're trying to, and she tries to get away from them and investigate. Well, lo and behold, the serial killer gets away too, and it's kind of like a, she gets help from one of the police, and there's a little bit of a conspiracy with the police. It's a pretty good movie. It's just got a lot going for it. It's got a lot of stuff in there. It's hard to me, I might have to watch it a couple of times because it's got like so much stuff going on. It's hard to think of everything that's going on. It'll do this one thing, and then you kind of can't really figure out what's going on. Then it'll jump, you know, and then there's a little bit else in there too. It's just too confusing for me. It was still a pretty good movie, but I mean, it was just, I think if they would have, and it's a kind of a longer movie too. I think it was over 2 hours long. If they could condensed it down and not put as much stuff in there, I think the movie would have been better. It was still entertaining. I thought it was a pretty cool movie, but it just had a little too much in there for me. It's not really a horror movie by, you know, it's got a few, it's got a little bit there at the end. It's a little brutal and stuff like that, but it's not all the way a horror movie to me. It's kind of like a cop drama or something like that, a police chase movie. It was pretty interesting. It was a pretty cool movie. I liked it. But like I said, it was a little bit long, and it was a little bit confusing, I guess you could say, as the movie went along. Now, I don't want to give too much away because it was a pretty good movie. You know, it wasn't that it was, you know, awful or bad or anything. It was just very confusing. It's one of those I might have to watch again to really get everything that's going on in it, because it's got a lot going on in it. But like I said, if you kind of like those movies and you're interested in those, then you would probably like this one, because it's a pretty cool movie. But like I said, it's just got a lot going on in it, and it confused me a little bit, but it's still a pretty decent movie. I enjoyed it. But like I said, it was just a crazy movie, and we'll read a little bit here. If we narrowly escaping death at the hands of the notorious serial killer, Jessie Dixon awakens from a coma to learn her father committed suicide. Unconvinced, she investigates the suspicious suicide and uncovers a dark corporate conspiracy involving the police and the psychotic killer that almost took her life. I mean, it's got, and then I think there's like some mob stuff in there, and it was still a pretty cool movie, but it was just, there was a lot going on in it. But it wasn't like, as you can see here, let's see if I can zoom in, it's over 120 minutes, so that would be 60 minutes in an hour, so it's 2 hours long, of course. And I don't know, if they would have just condensed it down and maybe make it like an hour and 20 minutes or something like that, it would have been fine, put a little less in there, but it was still a cool movie. But there was just so much to watch in it and so much to remember, you know, and everything's coming at you from, but it was still pretty cool. But like I said, that's what I'd kind of, if you're looking for a movie that kind of, you know, it's got a lot of conspiracy going on and a lot of You know, you don't know where it's going to, and you know, it's got a lot of stuff that you have to kind of siphon through and see what's going on. Then you would probably like this one. It's a little bit of a cop drama. Then you would probably like this movie, which I like cop dramas too. This one was just, I think I watched it and I was a little sleepy, so that's probably a little bit of what, you know, led me to not remember all of it. But it was still a pretty good movie. It was pretty entertaining. It just had a lot of stuff going on in there, a lot of different things just move, you know, a lot of different gears moving in there that you have to kind of keep up with and stuff. But it was still pretty entertaining. I liked it pretty good. Like I said, if they would have maybe lowered the time down to maybe you know, an hour and a half instead of 2 hours, and took a little bit of the stuff out that they had in there, then it would have probably been a really good movie. But I mean, I can't fault the director. He done a pretty good job, and I think, you know, maybe his next movie will be pretty good. He's got this one under his belt that was pretty entertaining. It was just a little jumbled, you know, with all the stuff going on. But if he makes another one after he's done this one, I think he'll do a really good job, because it was a pretty cool movie. It was a pretty fun movie, you know, but just a lot in there for me to siphon through and kind of check out. But if you're interested in some of those kind of maybe like a cop drama with a little bit of you know, a little bit of a serial killer look in there and stuff, so if you're looking for that kind of movie, then check out Inhumanity. I thought it was pretty cool, but it was just a little too much for me. And that'll be it for my review. Please give me a thumbs up if you like the review. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, see you. Have a good one.